Hey guys, welcome to our new home. So, for those who are new, me and my husband were living with the family, and so now we are in our own place. And it was really hard to find a place with a little backyard. So, we're going to keep our little homestead at the family home. We are very close to our family, so I am there almost every week. And so, here we have a little balcony, and I plan to do a garden there. So, welcome to this channel. I'm glad that you guys are here. This is Adaya's Homestead. So, there is a project that I wanted to tackle, and I've been wanting to tackle it for some time now. And it's actually the garden in the balcony. And that garden has not been able to start, or that project hasn't been able to start because of the fact that I have not been able to figure out how much sunlight we get. And every time I want to check, like, I'm just not home long enough to see. But now I have been able, because I'm on spring break, I've been able to see how much sunlight we get. So I can tell that there are some things that I can definitely start putting in the garden now. So we're going to work on that project today, and hopefully it will go well. So I need to go to my family's home. I'm going to go pick up some soil, and I'm going to go pick up some compost, things like that, all the supplies that I need. I'm going to bring it here, and we'll get started on that. And so, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then before we get started in the balcony, I mean, it's going to be a very busy day outside. It's also very hot. We are hitting the 90s already here in Zone 9B in Las Vegas. So I need to make sure that I'm hydrated. So we're gonna first start in the kitchen. So let me show you guys what I'm gonna do. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we're gonna do two small little projects in the kitchen. I wanted to get some granola done. I'm running low on granola, and I wanted to get that as a nice power snack for when I am done in the balcony. It is a very hot day today, so I'm gonna need something that's a little hydrating and nutritional. So I'm gonna do a carrot juice, and it's very high on vitamin C, and it's better than orange juice actually. So I'm going to juice a couple of these carrots and kind of go from there. So let's get that started.
We're going to begin with a couple of ingredients that we need to take out, like our oatmeal. We also need to take out some nuts. And I believe I also needed to take out some sugar just in case. I ended up not needing the sugar. I ended up just using honey. Some people use maple syrup. It's a better alternative than to just be using sugar. And I was also just taking the turmeric and the ginger.
I'm just sitting down in my little kitchen chair. Okay, so let's start with the granola. We're gonna have like about 4 cups of oatmeal. And this is so nice. I love oatmeal. So we're going to have about 4 cups of that. And then we're going to chop up some nuts. So I have almonds, walnuts, and some pecans. So let me go grab that. So here are my nuts. I have some pecans, walnuts, and some almonds. These are just sliced. And I'm going to go ahead and chop these up and put that in the granola. It's going to be very nice. Just give it a nice little chop. We're not going to do it finely. It's just a nice chop. So nice to have this in your granola. We need a nice nutty flavor and texture. Okay, so now we're going to add some honey, and then we'll mix that with some oil and some salt, and then we're all done with this one. We're going to add about, let's just say, 1/3 of a cup of honey. And let me grab some oil. We're going to use some olive oil. And with this, you're going to add probably the same amount as the honey, about a third a cup. I'm also going to add some salt. This is just some Himalayan salt. And then now we get to mix. Just grabbing whatever spoon I have there. Some people like adding raisins, but I am not a fan of raisins. So I am okay with this mix. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a couple more almonds. This is about half a cup. Yeah, that looks so good. This is nice to have on yogurt. Some people have it like cereal. And I like it when they form clumps like this piece here. This is already a nice little clump. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I like it when they cluster up. So this is my favorite. So the granola is all done. All I have to do is pop it in the oven. So now what I'm going to do next, I am going to get started on the carrots. So I'm just going to make sure that they're nice and clean. I'm going to chop it up, and I'm going to go and pick up the soil and all the things that I need for my balcony garden. I'm noticing it's getting very hot outside, and I kind of want to beat the heat at its worst. It's hitting the 90s today, I believe, and so I don't want to be stuck in that kind of heat. It's still early, it's still the morning time, so I just want to quickly take care of that and then come right back and pop the granola in the oven, and then I'm going to juice my carrots. So let's go ahead and just clean these up and kind of go from there. Just going to do this. Usually it's nice if you have a scrubber to clean up the carrots, but we don't have that today, which is fine. They say that the skin has quite a lot of nutrition in it, so keeping the skin is usually nicer. All right, we're all done with that. All of this is going to go straight to the compost. Now I'm just going to go ahead and chop up my carrots. I want to make it easy for my machine to handle them in the best way possible. Sometimes juicing can be a little tricky. If you don't want to wear out your machine, just chop it up into smaller bits. And now I'm going to prepare the ginger and the turmeric. I'm going to use, let's see, about this much. I think about this much will be okay. And one of the turmerics. Okay, so that was nice to get some things prepped and out of the way. So this is going to go to the compost, and let's get ready to go to the homestead and pick up some ingredients for the garden.
Okay, so we have all the things that we need to get the balcony garden going. All I can say, it's been very, very hot. I spent like maybe 20-30 minutes outside in the homestead over there at the family home, and the heat was very intense. So I did have to take a quick little break, but now I have all the things that I need. My husband helped me to pick up the soil and drop it off here at the balcony. So now I can just leave these things there and we can get started with that project. But before we do, we're gonna go ahead and put in the granola first in the oven. And my husband already juiced the carrots, which is so nice. So that'll be a nice refreshing drink after we're done in the garden. So let's go. So what I ended up doing is, this was supposed to bake for about 30 to 40 minutes, but I would check on it every 10 minutes. So I would put my timer for 10 minutes and I would come back inside from the balcony and I would just move it around to make sure that everything was cooking evenly. So the first thing that we're gonna add for this balcony raised bed is some fabric, some garden fabric. This will kind of help retain all the moisture. If you guys remember, this is the raised bed that we built. This is the first project that we did on this channel, and it's been holding up okay so far, but we'll see now that we're going to start adding more moisture to it. We'll see how long the wood lasts. Something I need to improve on in my balcony garden is to figure out how to comfortably water this raised bed. So if anybody has experience with a balcony garden, please give me your tips on what you guys do or use or created in order to comfortably water your raised bed in the balcony or whatever you're watering there in the balcony. But this was a little tricky for me. I was using my big pot and that was like pretty much all I had. This is quite a big raised bed. It's not a small one. So you kind of need quite a lot of water to work it out. So if there's any other tips other than using your regular water canner, please let me know. Thank you. Okay, so now we are done here. I'm gonna let this sit in, and it's nice and wet. So I'm gonna let that sit for a couple days before I start planting some seeds in here. And it should give it enough time to settle in. And then I can see really if I need to add another bag because we still have quite a lot left. But it is quite a lot of soil, and this is a very deep bed. So I'm gonna leave it like this and not move it. I'm not gonna add more, I don't think, but we'll see. I still have to add more compost on top and some castworm, and then yeah, and then we'll plant some seeds there. So I believe with this bed, we'll be able to get some cabbage in and maybe a variety of tomatoes. I also believe I can get some bush beans in. We are going into the heat now here in Zone 9B, Las Vegas. So we are going to need to plant vegetables that are tolerant to high heat, which we do have a few that can grow during the heat waves. So I am going to get those seeds started now while I wait for this soil to settle in, probably a good week from now. And then I will be planting those seeds in. But we are getting ready for summer. The heat definitely came in earlier than expected, but that's okay. It is what it is. But that is all for the garden today. I was so eager to get this project started in the balcony, and now that we are starting to feel a little more settled into our new place, I'm happy that I got this project started, and hopefully it will flourish. So stay tuned for the updates. Now we're back in the kitchen. Every time the 10-minute timer would ring, I would come back inside and I would just kind of mix the granola around. And I'm glad I was able to do that so it can cook evenly. Today was so enjoyable. I'm so glad I was able to get these little small projects done in our balcony garden and also in the kitchen. Now I'm just going to relax. I had a very nice day today. I enjoyed hosting some of my friends after our nice little garden project. And now I'm just gonna finish the evening, wind down, enjoy a little treat before bed, and I am feeling very content. So I will see you guys next time, and thank you so much for being my guest. So I'm tired.